That was her beginning to, that's one very subtle one, cutting the NHS in pieces. So we could have any current minister up there. Now, that's her in a gas mask. She's on. Some of these, what happened is this work was done some time ago, and it influenced quite a lot of street artists. And I got to know Banksy, who does exist, I can assure you. And I often get emails from young people saying, "Oh, you ripped off Banksy," you know, looking at things like that, because he used gas masks. And this was done when he was about 4, I think, so it couldn't quite add up. And especially the Hayway ones, he did those ones which you probably know called oils, where he took old paintings and street signs. So it's nice that this sort of work has a different audience in that way. That is a cover I didn't do. That was about the Falklands War, but I did that version of it sort of 3 days later. So again, it's taking something that's happening and changing it. And that was the time of the first Gulf War. And then after doing all this montage, I decided I wanted to make things more. I've always been like the materiality of imagery, of paper and stuff. So I started working on installations, and this is a finance pages of a newspaper, and it's got printed on it with a big photocopy of a face, and it's by a documentary photographer called Jenny Matthews, who took a lot of the pictures. And then I would draw on it with charcoal, and one of the things about charcoal, it mixes in with unfixed photocopy, so they merge, and I like that combination of the autographic and the photographic mark. I feel it adds a certain sort of physicality to the thing. And then they were put into a room, and there were about 21 of these lecterns, so it's like a sort of reading room with these images on. And they're much grittier images than the montages. But one of the problems, one of the things about this sort of work, it only exists in the gallery. It's not something that could exist in the street or in the magazine particularly. So it's a different sort of work, but it's something I've always believed in, is actually trying to make gallery-based stuff. And that's the same sort of idea, but that's taking an actual financial paper, financial pages, and then printing with photocopy, printing these hands on, and then working in charcoal on them, and then having real tears in it. So that's actually exhibited as a newspaper, an actual paper in a black frame, and the same with that one. So you've got this thing between a printed image, a 2-dimensional image, and a 3-dimensional image. And then a few years ago, at the end, before the millennium, I decided there wasn't much happening politically, so I made this sort of slightly bonkers cart and took it out and put these things, they're like giant news bills, put them outside the stock exchange, and endeavoured to have discussions with bankers and stockbrokers and people. Some of them were up for it a bit, other ones sort of mad, and other ones thought I was making special art, stockbroker art, especially for stockbrokers. They're not that bright, a lot of them. But it was that idea of going into the street with it and then finding something that would start a discussion. And obviously a lot of people think you're selling something, they can't believe you're going into the street and you're not working for a film company or something to sell things. So I did that, and then this was a book, these are books. And again, I like that idea of, this is like a small book using the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights, and this has got this charcoal and photocopy thing. So when you look at the book, you feel like your hand, you're getting all this ink on you, and they're like grappling with the pages. And it's quite an ambiguous thing about whose hands they are and why they're grappling. somebody said they thought it was me being like completely frustrated, not being able to express any of this. So it's like my hand's going like that. But I mean, really, it could be the victim of the greed, or it could be the greedy. It's between the two. And this was a
What do you
recent...
want? Freedom! What do you want? Now! What do you want? Freedom! What do you want? Now!
This revolution is for everybody in order to be free.
This demonstration will make people all over the world able to understand something about what's going on. No more blood, no more fear.
Give me liberty, let me free! Give me liberty, let me free! Give me justice, let me free!
Never be scared and be proud that you protested for your country.
We have no right to be scared. We're sitting in this country, we're safe and sound, we might as well do something.
We are not afraid, and I am not afraid.
No more blood! No more blood! No more fear! No more fear! No more living under fear! No more living under fear! What do you want? Freedom! What do you want? Now! What do you want? Freedom! What do you want? Now!
So that was a film that was done a couple of months ago with a friend of mine, and she's a director films, but that was for Amnesty, and that's about Syria. And those people in that film, you know, they're very brave to appear and pad their faces in the film, because as you know, the awful bloodbath going on in Syria. And so we did that for Amnesty, and we use it online and take it to meetings and things. So again, it's another use for that sort of work. And then this was a show in a gallery. One of the things about West End galleries is that they're very discreet about how much things cost. So I decided to put $19.99 in very big letters and $9.99 for students and unemployed and old age pensioners, which I'm about to become one. In fact, in a few months I'll be able to buy one for $9.99, but shit. Anyway, it's quite good, you know, to break that idea of the thing about money in West End galleries, just to make it reveal that they are shops. You know, they've got all these airs and graces. You know, you've probably been to the White Cube and all these places. They're shopkeepers. You know, they're not usually old Etonian shopkeepers, but they're shopkeepers running very, very expensive shops.